I just came home to grab a phone charger, but when I got to my backyard, there were 102 people yelling, "Congratulations!" There was a big banner that said, "He asked." She said yes. I asked Mom what was going on. She smiled and said, "It's your brother, he's engaged to Alyssa, my ex." Then she told me, "We took a $17,000 loan in your name, consider it a gift." I didn't say anything. Then my friend Frozone took my phone, tapped a few times, and said 5 words. In 12 minutes, a file was sent to all 102 people. Mom whispered, "I told you he'd ruin it, he's always been jealous." I stood there at the front door, holding my keys and backpack, looking at my childhood backyard. It was decorated with streamers, white chairs, a big tent, and many people clapping. Then I saw the banner again. "He asked." She said yes. Underneath was a huge photo of my brother Mark on one knee, holding a ring for Alyssa, my ex. Not just a crush or a date, but someone I lived with for 2 years. We were supposed to get married but had a bad breakup. My mouth felt dry. The cheap charger I came for suddenly seemed silly. It felt like I was on a stage in a nightmare. Mom came next to me, smiling but fake. "It's your brother, he's engaged to Alyssa." She said it like I should be happy, like it was a joke we'd laugh about later. I just looked at her. Then she whispered, "We took a $17,000 loan in your name to pay for the party. It's our gift." "From you?" I asked but didn't get an answer. Something inside me broke. People cheered and threw confetti. A woman I didn't know took selfies with Alyssa. Mark laughed. Alyssa saw me and looked away. I didn't yell or move. I just stood there. Then I unlocked my phone and said 5 words. "Check your phones right now." In 12 minutes, everyone there got a file. By 15 minutes, the yard went quiet. That was just the start. I didn't stay for the fireworks. I walked through the crowd as they looked at their phones, confused and upset. I didn't run. I didn't have to. I did my part. Now it was their turn to react. The file was a PDF called, "How I Lost a Fiancé and $17,000. It had screenshots, messages between Mark and Alyssa while I was still dating her, money transfers, a list of party costs in my name, loan papers, and even a voice message where Alyssa said, "He'll never find out, he's too busy being useful." Useful, that's what I was to my family, a tool, not a person. Want to know how it got this bad? I was the oldest, the one who fixed things and helped everyone. When Mom's water heater broke, I paid. When Mark crashed his car, I took out a loan for him. When Dad's business failed, I gave them money, and I never said no. They took that as permission. Mom would say things like, "You know how much this means to us." Dad said, "You're the only responsible one." Mark never thanked me, just said, "You got me, bro." Then, 4 months ago, I moved into my first real apartment. I invited the family for dinner. Only Mom came. She barely ate and then asked me to co-sign a $12,000 loan for Mark's business. I said I'd think about it. That was my mistake. A week later, I saw the loan on my credit report, approved without me signing. When I asked Mom why, she said, "You said you'd think about it, that means yes, Mark needs it, you make good money." That's when I understood. They didn't see it as stealing, it was just sharing. I stopped answering calls and checked my credit. Then I found a second loan, $17,000 for the engagement party in my name. I felt sick. I hadn't talked to Alyssa in over a year. We ended quietly. She said she needed space, wasn't ready, and it wasn't my fault. But really, it was Mark. I don't know how it started, and I don't care. The messages showed she texted Mark the day after she left me, calling him baby a week later. She never blocked me. She just moved on like I was nothing. And everyone knew. The messages showed it all. Dad helped Mark buy the ring. Mom invited Alyssa to Sunday dinners. My whole family welcomed my ex while I was still hurting, thinking it was my fault, and they were proud of it. 2 weeks before the party, they posted pictures online in a private album called Big Day Soon. I wasn't tagged or blocked, I was just ignored. Photos showed Mark holding the ring, Alyssa laughing on the patio, and Mom watching with her usual smirk. The caption said, "When you know, she's perfect for Mark." I hadn't talked to them in weeks, but I knew what to do. I stopped the loans, got a lawyer, filed fraud reports, and saved every receipt. Then I opened an old file I hadn't looked at in months, Alyssa_chat_backup, zip. It had everything, voice notes, photos, location info, and even her diary entries. She wrote, "He's sweet but boring. Mark is exciting. Mark makes me feel alive again." And she wrote that while still using my Netflix. That was the key proof. On the day of the party, I parked a few blocks away. I didn't dress up, just jeans and a hoodie. I walked around back like I belonged because I did. No one saw me at first. They were busy celebrating with cake, decorations, and photos. Then someone noticed me. Oh my God, you came. I saw the banner, the crowd, Mark on stage with a microphone, and Alyssa wearing Mom's pearls. I stood still. Mom saw me and said the thing that started it all. We took a $17,000 loan in your name. Consider it a gift. A gift? She said it like I was Santa Claus. So, I sent the file. Everything fell apart. Alyssa's boss was there and left early. Mark's friends started arguing with him. Cheryl pretended she didn't see anything. Dad chased me as I left. You think this will ruin their happiness? I didn't answer. I said, you shouldn't have signed my name. He grabbed my arm. I showed my phone. If you touch me again, I'll call the police. He froze. That night, the family chat exploded with messages. Dad, fix this before it gets worse. Mom, how could you do this? Mark, man up and talk. Alyssa blocked me. I waited. Then I shared the full folder online, making it public, with a caption. This is how my family celebrates love, lies, and theft. 3 days later, Mom texted. Just us, no drama, we want to talk. She invited me to dinner. Dad made steak. Mark and Alyssa would be there. She said I owed them that much. I didn't owe them anything, but I said yes. I arrived early. The house looked the same, fake as always. Lights, music, laughter, like nothing had happened. Alyssa opened the door silently. Her makeup was smudged. She smiled fake and stepped aside. The table was set for 6. Mom acted like it was a normal dinner. Dad poured wine. Mark sat at the end, tense. Mom started, can we just talk? No one said anything, so she kept going. This is all a misunderstanding. The loan, the Alyssa thing. We thought you said yes. Relationships are messy. You were over. It didn't just happen, I said calmly. She smiled a little. We wanted to do something nice for Mark and the family. We didn't mean to hurt you. I nodded and took out the folder. It wasn't thick, but every page hit hard. I put it on the table. What's that? Dad asked, annoyed. Truth, I said. I showed them a loan contract with my name and a blank signature line. They forged it. Next, emails about the party costs with Mom as coordinator and Mark paying for me. Then a message from Alyssa to Mark. He's still paying off your car. You better propose soon before he stands up for himself. Mom turned pale. Mark read it quietly and threw it down. That's private, Alyssa whispered. No, I said, it's theft, lies, and using me. Dad growled. You want revenge? To embarrass us? You did that already. No, I said, I want you to be responsible. Then I showed a photo from a bank security camera, Dad using my ID to get the loan. The date matched. The signature was fake. His face changed. You've been spying on us? I'm protecting myself, I said, because I don't expect family to protect me. Finally, I showed a letter from the credit bureau saying Dad's credit was frozen for suspected fraud. He couldn't co-sign loans anymore. He stared at me, angry. You think this fixes it? It doesn't. Suddenly, someone else came in. It was Alyssa's ex, Evan. He walked in calm, holding his own folder. Hope I'm not crashing, but I have to speak. Mark stood, ready to fight. Alyssa said, Evan, leave. He ignored her. He said, Alyssa was still living with me when she started texting him. He looked at me. About needing space. He put messages on the table, showing she lied to both of us. She played us. But I moved on. I'm not looking for revenge. I just wanted closure. He looked at me and said, she told me your family would pay for everything because you always do, that you were trained to say yes, that's what she said. Then he left. The silence after he walked out was so heavy, even the knives on the table seemed ashamed. Mom tried one last time. Honey, we can get past this, we just have to. No, I said, standing up, I'm done, no more guilt, no more debt, no more lies. Mark stood too. So you're leaving us over a girl? I looked at him. You mean my ex? You proposed to her with money stolen in my name? He said nothing. I leaned forward. You all deserve each other. Then I walked to the door. Dad stood and warned, don't you dare turn your back on this family. I turned and said, I didn't turn my back. You did. I just finally saw it. I walked out. This time, no one followed. At my apartment, quiet and clean, I deleted every voicemail from last night. 36 missed calls, 12 texts, all saying the same thing, talk to us, you're still our son, we didn't mean to hurt you. Then one last text from Mark, she's gone, hope you're happy. I didn't reply. I made black coffee, bitter enough for the mood. I didn't go to work that day. Instead, I closed the bank account my parents used to take money from me. I opened a new one, new name, new start. That night, I called my lawyer. Remember the trust Grandpa mentioned? Yeah. I want out. You sure? I want to cut ties. He understood. The next week, I ended all shared accounts and responsibilities. No more cosign loans or shared credit. They had no access to me anymore. I didn't tell them, they'd find out later. I changed gyms, stores, and canceled all shared subscriptions, Netflix, Spotify, Amazon Prime, all gone. Then I moved, just a little farther away. I'd wanted an uptown loft with big windows, brick walls, and parking. I signed the lease the same day I got Mark's text, she's gone. Good, let them deal with it. I was gone. 3 days later, Dad knocked on my old door. A neighbor called me, some guy's pounding your door like crazy. I didn't answer. 2 days later, Mom left a note on the mat, please don't do this. I didn't. They already did. I spent the next month quietly rebuilding my life. I finally took the trip I'd postponed for years, no social media, no updates, just me, a mountain cabin, and a book I never finished. When I came back, 2 emails waited for me. One from a private investigator, Dad tried to get a loan again and got flagged for fraud. The other from Grandpa's lawyer, the family trust was changed. I had full control, no one else could touch my part. It wasn't revenge, it was protection. Weeks passed without a word. Then Megan, Alyssa's sister, found me at my building. I'm not here to fight, she said, just to tell you something. I let her in. She said Alyssa moved back to Ohio with her mom. She blamed you, Megan said, but I know what really happened, what they did. I stayed quiet. Then Megan said she thought I'd never fight back, that I was too quiet, too desperate for love. I nodded, she was right. I said, until I wasn't. The next day, I signed over the old family car Mark drove and donated it to a veteran charity. They picked it up that afternoon. I didn't tell Mark, he'd notice when it was gone. Maybe that's when things start to change. When Mom tried to get back on the family health insurance, surprise, I wasn't on it anymore. Now they had to figure things out on their own. Every quiet step away was building me back up. I wasn't loud, but I was steady. It didn't end with yelling, it ended with silence. They slowly disappeared from my life, still calling, still begging, still pretending. They thought I was being dramatic. But I wasn't angry anymore. I was free. I never went back, not for holidays, funerals, or even when Aunt Rachel said things had calmed down. Letting go is not the same as inviting them back. I did neither. I deleted all photos with them. Blocked cousins who checked in, those fake texts that only come after rumors. No more. Maybe someday, but not now. Still, family is family. But no more guilt. Some think revenge is loud, screaming, fires, destruction. But sometimes it's quiet, cold, and permanent. Like walking past the bakery Dad loved without flinching. Like seeing Mark's name on missed calls and not deleting them. Like hearing Mom say, "We're still your parents," and realizing biology isn't enough. 2 months after I disappeared, I got a real letter from my old dentist. "Your appointment is cancelled. Your family removed you from the insurance." I laughed, that was the last thing they could take. So, I made my own appointment. New dentist, new address, new everything. When asked for an emergency contact, I said, no. Then changed my mind, actually, list my lawyer. 6 weeks later, I opened my garage and smiled. There it was, the steel sign I'd ordered. Black background, white letters. Do not knock, family no longer lives here. I put it by the front door. Not because I expected them back, but to remind them who I am now. I'm not the emergency contact. Not the safety net. Not the charger they forget until the battery dies. I'm the ghost of every boundary they broke. Now rebuilt, strong and steady. Next time they want to use my name, they better ask a banker first.